I'm seeing a vortex. It's like somebody has just come out of some kind of spiral they were in, right? A spiral where they were longing for something and they're having a serious realization, and it's kind of like a somber moment, you know what I mean, like a sobering moment, and they're just realizing how it really is in their hands to do something about the situation that they have been longing about, have been spiraling about. It's kind of like they're coming to an understanding of the degree to which they hold accountability, but also power over a situation. 10 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. It's something that it's like this internal feeling of abundance, whatever this is that they want, but they're also realizing how it's their responsibility more than anything, which is interesting. So they're recognizing they have a responsibility right now to do something. The Lovers. Gemini season. Okay, so they definitely need to make a decision. Again, 10 of Pentacles. Question is, have they made this decision? It's something about the heart space and allowing their heart to lead this time is what I've heard. So that's interesting. Knight of Pentacles. Temperance. So much patience. So much patience here. Oh my gosh. This is... I think someone's had to learn... It's taken someone a long time to learn how to access their heart space without feeling so wounded. Okay, Justice card. I think that for a long time, it's kind of like... I'm seeing like this ice and breaking the ice, and underneath there's all this water, and it's kind of like for the longest time, they've tried to stay on top of the ice, and because they knew that going beneath the water would be them drowning, right? Or at least that's what they thought anyway. So there was so much beneath the surface, so much emotion. 2 of Pentacles. Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck, right? It's like there was a lot kind of that they hadn't handled, a lot of this karma that needed to be balanced still in their energy. It's been out of balance massively. Now we have the Page of Cups, okay? Yeah, I think this is somebody who is very new, if you will, to kind of accessing and channeling their emotions, and they're learning how to do this from Emperor at the bottom of the deck, from a very different space to where they have been. They've been thinking a lot, but they've also been, I feel like they've been a bit kind of like melancholy is what's coming to my head. So it's kind of like they've been ruminating on things, situations that didn't go in the way they'd thought or hoped or whatever. So there is this kind of, it is in their hands, the Ace of Pentacles. This is the seed they have now that they need to plant and water. But there's still something about this 5 of Pentacles energy, Queen of Wands at the bottom deck, 5 of Pentacles, where they were, I think, they just feel like they were left, they were just not feeling worthy at all. And it was kind of like their ego was bruised, is what I've just heard, which is interesting. But they felt it deeply because of everything that was already beneath the surface, that ice, right? Okay. Yeah, they've had a lot of altercations in the past. They've had a lot of karmic energies in the mix, like really. They've had to kind of awaken through this kind of... They've been so internally imbalanced, the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. This is part of their soul path, their soul journey for sure. Yeah, they've had to clear out so much, and I think it's like they're still... It's like the mental kind of... ripples, the ripple effects, the shadows, mental shadows are left as a result of like whatever they went through, right? The imprints, they're still clearing through that and trying to understand that, if that makes sense. And they're spending a lot of time alone right now, trying to organize, I've heard, their emotions, trying to find balance in their emotions, just understand them. It's like they're trying to release, you know, it's like they're trying, maybe they are writing something, you know, trying to just let it out in some way, shape or form. But maybe, and I do feel like there's sometimes they get a bit, when they can't express their emotions correct, I say correct, in the way that they'd like to, right, in a healthy way, they get really like angry. 9 of Cups, and that's the 9 of Cups with the Lovers, and I think that this is what they're really thinking and ruminating on, and this is probably what that longing is, right? They wanted this, they know that it's their heart's wishes, and they're just thinking about it. So it's definitely been on their mind. Okay, Queen of Cups again. They have a new way of thinking on this. I've heard they've got a new kind of understanding of how to approach this situation. So their approach, They could also be really learning something new. This is a new approach that they're learning. I don't think they've done this before. I think they're understanding what steady means and how it can be trusted, and in fact that's even more stable, that kind of approach, instead of like this. They have a lot of energy is what I'm feeling, so it's kind of maybe that's what they've used in the past to kind of approach these kind of decisions that they want to make, right? They could also be seeing something online right now which is really enticing them to move in this direction even more. Again, there's something about third party energy in the mix, some kind of heaviness, some kind of weight that they're still carrying. It could be to do with family. This is definitely someone who sees what they want, and this is not something they want to let go of. I've just heard whether they have in the past or not is a different question, okay? But they're definitely, I'm feeling this kind of energy of really, I was just going to say, like this really like passionate, like energy, like, you know, energy they have a lot of. It's kind of they're feeling that for this, where they want to move. And just as I said, that Queen of Wands came out, very attractive energy here. Okay, Six of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I think that they're also understanding their feelings towards this energy more. In the past, they weren't sure. They were umming and ahhing. They were kind of confused between... It's like their mind is a battlefield, right? And they were confused between what they've known, what they've been told and taught in their, like, whether it's family, friendships, people around them, you know, the kind of influence that they've had on them. And they've kind of... they're coming to a realisation that this isn't just... There's a reason they're stuck on this, and they need to process this, and they need to do something about this in order to kind of... I'm hearing like overcome something. The Fool and the Death at the bottom of the deck. Fool. Okay, so there is this new beginning that they want, right? But there's too many cards. But I can just feel it. It's like there's this stuckness. It's like there's this desire to want to communicate or something. Oh my God, just as I said that, the Eight of Wands. Definitely a desire to communicate. I do think there is some kind of communication moving forwards. Something that's going to... there's going to be some stability here. The Devil with the Three of Cups and the fight. No, there's still some... Again, I think this could be a mother wound or something to do with like energy, some kind of feminine energy. Maybe even someone they had some kind of, you know, foundation with, you know, in a connection. Definitely a karmic energy though, whatever this is. I think it still plays on their mind, or whether it's still an influence, I don't know. There's some kind of toxic... I've heard the word toxic. I don't use that word often. So, maybe it's some kind of unhealthy addiction or something. But no, their sights are set on this. They know who they're feeling towards, that's for sure. But they know that they can't rush this, right? The Empress. Oh my God. They know who the Empress is. And there's also this going on, but this is what they're currently walking away from. And I think it's just how it's played out in their life. And they're trying to understand... I think they're trying to reprogram their mind, to rewire their thought patterns. Truthfully. Reconciliation. Okay, so it's something to do with that past energy that came through there before. Okay, so in the past they let something go. And, okay, it needs to happen because both of these energies need to learn how to love themselves first. Maybe they weren't giving it to themselves enough. I get with this energy that's coming through, they were over-giving to external parties. Like I said, there was that family energy that was coming through, just all those people that I mentioned, but also then this Empress energy. I think she wasn't, there's something about fulfillment, okay, playfulness. And when you enter something with someone, they start to take up a lot of your energy, right? But you need to be in that position where you are so filled up in your cup. Not perfectly, you know, nothing's perfect, but to a degree where you are able to come together in like this harmonious balance. Do you know what I mean? So, and allow each other to still evolve on your journeys without kind of overgiving and, you know, all these wounds that still haven't been healed, right? That playful energy, I do think that this, I do think there is this playful energy that comes out with this, when these two come together, okay? Let go of control issues, okay? This is another thing. It's not about how things are going to be playing out, right? It's about surrendering to the divine unfold, right? So that you don't have, it doesn't have to look like a template. It's not meant to look like a template. That's a problem. There's a lot of conditioning about what connection should be like, unrequited love there. And that's another thing. I think someone wants to free yourself. Someone needs to free themselves of whatever happened in the past where there wasn't that reciprocation, or whatever the stories they're telling themselves, or even maybe other people told them, because this is feeding the illusion. It's feeding the fear, the pain-based kind of timelines they're still feeding into, and that's what needs to be released. So that when you come together with this energy, there can be this kind of you can create a foundation, and there's play. There's that energy to just flow with it as well, right? As you create a stable foundation, stay optimistic, safe for you to love, right? Stay optimistic. What happened in the past, there were healing and cycles where you need to learn a lot of lessons, right? You're not meant to stay stuck there. And, it makes sense sometimes that you'll automatically revert back to that version of you because that's all you've known. But this is when you get to check yourself, right? Retreat. Don't automatically react. Retreat, disconnect, take a moment, right? Recognize that things aren't going to be just the way your mind went from when you were a baby to a child to a teenager, even into adulthood, that has experienced all these different things, that has wired your brain into repeating these cycles. It's time to disconnect from that, okay? It's kind of this energy of the vision ahead. You already see it, but there's all this in kind of confusion up to that point. You have to, there's a reason you're on this soul journey. You have to go through these processes, through these lessons for a reason. That's why you have to experience the emotions in order for you, when you do get to that vision at the other end, you're truly ready for it. Yeah, so it's not meant to get you to take your eyes off the mark or anything, or have less faith. It's actually just preparing you to be ready for new love. For that, okay? So this did want to come out. It is safe for you to love. Someone really needs that reassurance. You deserve love. You are lovable. Massive self-worth here. It's pretty. I think this is, this is why somebody spirals, and they know that they can't spiral when they're in this kind of, when they make moves towards this empress. I mean, they're coming out as a page, and this is an empress. I mean, there's a huge difference, vast difference. It's somebody who's really working on their emotional stability within themselves. That's why they're really wanting to try. I can feel it. They really want to try their best to learn their emotions, to mature on an emotional level. This is just how they're feeling at the moment, though. I will say, I think they're just coming out of a really heavy internal kind of, like I said, they had a battlefield in their head, a time to give rather than take, okay? It's kind of like, sometimes you need that space, they just came out. You are good enough. Both of these are Virgo cards, okay? A win-win outcome is forecast. That wanted to come out, and so did It's Fall on the Floor. If this is a divine feminine energy, I will say that you might also be experiencing kind of issues when it comes to family and altercations, that kind of thing. You're really being tested to see how much you have been allowing yourself to step back and observe your reactions and recognize your boundaries, and just really be honest with yourself about who and why is treating you in what ways. The ones that fell on the floor, there's too many cards. Okay. I also feel like there's something about clearing through that your own mental pattern, because I feel like you're allowing kind of the way you were in the past treated to get sometimes, what do you need to release to come in the way, and there's this reconciliation that really wants to come through, and I can see that it's going to be a really beautiful opportunity for a new beginning, right? One where you will be seen, the divine feminine energy will be, and the divine masculine actually, will be seen in all of your versions, all of your layers, and will be really cherished in all of that and respected. Believe in the impossible. Yes, believe in the impossible. Where did it become impossible? Remember, that was meant to be your vision all ahead. You're just working towards it. You're preparing for it, okay? A new romantic cycle. Your commitment is being tested. It certainly is. I can feel it. The headspace right now is... that's why it's kind of like, it's almost exhausting. It's almost like just needing some time. I think you need to meditate or something, or just time, whatever that means for you, to take time to just be in silence as well. You want to come out when a new romantic cycle begins. Love that. This is just confirmation. I think what's happening internally is not a reflection of who you have become truly. Nothing will come of this situation. Confirmation. A new start is coming. So it's like this new beginning is pushing in. It wants to come through, right? You're literally being prepared for it, but it's like these trickling bits of that kind of that mind space and that heart space, that it's still that kind of energy, that karmic energy that's trying to clear through. Yeah. And it's like that testing is kind of like, okay, so do you recognize this now? It almost feels like an internal like tornado, like internally that's what's happening, but no one can see it on the outside. Self-respect, again, confirmation, self-respect. I do get, especially with the feminine energy here, there's a lot of self-respect. You're recognizing that you have been finding your fulfillment within yourself. Forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong. Someone needs to hear that, that's for sure. Guarded and protected, beautiful. I think there's something about that, guarded and protected. I think maybe you think that the connection isn't. If it's a divine connection, then it is, right? I think there's a need sometimes to recognize the difference, to really step back. Romance angels are helping you. To really step back and really look, and see the difference between the energies you have been with, the karmic energies or just unhealthy energies, right? That have, how they've played out, what it's looked like, what it's brought out in you. Has it helped you to just stay on this version and keep cycling through these past, like these versions of you that need to be healed? Or has it really helped you to say, hold on a second, I know my, like, who I can be, who I'm supposed to be here. Yeah, there's a big difference between being triggered by karmic energies versus being kind of triggered by a divine energy that's showing you your truth. Again, romance angels are helping you. This situation is already resolved. We said the vision's there already. Okay, it's just about how you're getting on in the journey towards that right now. Prayer will help this situation. You're being prepared. When this opportunity presents itself, it's really going to be a time for you to step back, not react instantly, right? But step back, take a moment to yourself and recognize who you have become this entire time. Who you are now bringing to this new situation. Because when the past comes back, it can be so easy to revert back to that past version like we mentioned, right? But it's this specific energy here is not for you to do that. It's for you to actually level up even more, for you to recognize who and what you do want, who and what is aligned with you versus what you don't want, what isn't aligned with you, the versions of you. And also I've heard something about false promises as well. Again, that third party energy that's coming through, okay? I just think that full intimacy, full intimacy includes emotional vulnerability and intimacy, allowing yourself to be like that and allowing yourself to create the space with each other, uninhibited and released. I think this is the energy that you both feel when you're together. I certainly have felt that from the masculine energy here. Which is really beautiful, because what that suggests is that you're allowing both of you to be that, just your most freest, liberated selves with each other, right? No shackles kind of thing, which is really beautiful, because I think in the past you've both experienced connections that have kind of wanted to contain you, hindered your growth, your soul evolution. Certainly the lady who waits. It's been a while. Someone's been waiting for this reconciliation. I don't even know if they've been waiting. I think that it's just, again, it's that someone's been becoming. They've been learning who they are. They've been fulfilling themselves. They've been learning how to love themselves. So it was really needed to become who you're supposed to be now. Seeking pleasure. So much of that sexual energy is coming through. I think maybe in the past this is what it was, and that's where there needs to be a change. There needs to be that Knight of Pentacles energy, that stability, okay, the sweetest taboo, confirmation. Okay, and that was longing and desire at the bottom. Okay, so, yeah. Standing alone, love's embrace. There was that energy of, in the past, you just ended up, you had to part ways. You weren't there was conflict, there was an alignment in terms of energy, in terms of there was too much external in the mix. Something really about worthiness as well to recognize. I think I honestly feel like this masculine energy saw this feminine energy as out. I'm gonna say, I don't use this term usually, but out of their league is what I'm hearing. So I think they've just they've had to really go through a lot to get to the point where they need to see who they are, the lion strength that they have within them, that they're here for, right? I will say this beautiful feminine energy though, there's this energy of really going inwards and honouring your energy, your sacred energy, right? I'm hearing something about celibacy, right? Being very selective with who and what you have around you, but also with how you're portraying yourself out there, you know, how you're responding, how you're communicating, you're, you know, the image you have, kind of thing. And it's really creating this beautiful opportunity that's coming through with this new beginning, this new conversation that's coming through. Or at least something is trickling in, right? There is patience still required because there's something here. I don't know if it's an addiction or just something, could be to do with that energy again. Yeah, that sacral chakra is truly being worked on here. And divine feminines, if this is something to do with work and your abundance path, and it's like something hasn't come into fruition and you've been working hard at it, but there's always some kind of conflict. I feel like this is something to do with your karmic energy, that kind of abundance path of yours. So there's this energy of kind of staying in your alignment within yourself, regardless of what's happening outside of you. It's about internally, energetically, emotionally preparing for where you are headed, moving forwards, okay? Right about now, there's just this energy of recognizing any which ways that you could sabotage this reconciliation, this kind of this new stable opportunity of this new beginning, because a new start is coming and it can be a win-win outcome. You've just got to check yourself, right? Retreat where you need to, be honest, be vulnerable, and allow that space, that sacred space you can create together to do that, okay? Let me know if this reading was for you. Sending so much love.